Thanks for tuning in to this week's news recap. Solana had a tough weekend. Solana went down for roughly 7 hours on Saturday. According to its Twitter account, the network lost consensus after an enormous amount of inbound transactions, 4 million per second, flooded the network. In a postmortem, the team explained that the influx of transactions targeted a new NFT drop using Candy Machine, Solana's popular NFT minting tool. Since the price had a fixed floor and not a dynamic Dutch auction, the first user to call the mint received the NFT, which created an economic incentive to send a huge number of transactions in hopes of winning the mint, the team wrote. Due to the overwhelming amount of transactions, the network validators ran out of memory and crashed, leading to consensus stalling until validators restarted the network via Discord and Google Doc coordination. This is not the first significant outage for Solana, which experienced a 17-hour shutdown in September 2021, which Solana says shares characteristics with the blackout last weekend. Solana will be adding fee prioritization in its V1.11 release, along with 3 other mitigations in the wake of the network failure. Binance and Elon are teaming up. Elon Musk is no longer the sole purchaser of Twitter. According to a Thursday filing, Musk has raised $7 billion in funding from Oracle co-founder Larry Ellison, venture capital firm Sequoia, investment behemoth Fidelity, and Binance. The crypto exchange will be putting up $500 million towards the acquisition. By the way, speaking of Fidelity, Senators Elizabeth Warren and Tina Smith sent a letter to Fidelity CEO Abigail Johnson about Fidelity's plans to enable people to save with Bitcoin in their 401ks, saying that Bitcoin was too risky of an asset. It also noted Fidelity may have conflicts of interest because Fidelity has been mining Bitcoin and because it offers a crypto fund to wealthy clients. Bitcoiners aghast at BIP 119's speed. A Bitcoin Improvement Proposal, or BIP, introduced an opcode called Check Template Verify, or CTV, and it was written by Bitcoin developer and researcher Jeremy Rubin, and it caused quite a commotion in the Bitcoin community this week. BIP 119 is not controversial at face value. Essentially, it allows Bitcoin transactions to be used in a restricted manner in the future, meaning transactions can be programmed in a limited fashion. In BIP 119 terminology, this restriction on future use is called a covenant. It sort of works like a baby smart contract. According to Rubin, allowing Bitcoins to be programmed via covenants has interesting applications. For example, exchanges could batch transactions during times of network congestion and settle at a later date. Additionally, BIP 119 would increase the speed of the Lightning Network and make trustless coin joins easier to execute. However, Rubin has asked the Bitcoin community to vote on the soft fork upgrade via a speedy trial, in which, if a soft fork would be voted for by 90% of block miners within a specific period, then the upgrade would be approved. Speedy trial was used in approving the Taproot upgrade, which went into effect earlier last year. However, unlike Taproot, which was proposed in 2018, Bitcoiners are worried that BIP 119 has not been studied enough. Bitcoin OG and educator Andreas Antonopoulos called Rubin's choice of a speedy trial activation entirely inappropriate. Peter McCormack, the host of What Bitcoin Did, tweeted, "I'm nervous that something might get activated that a bunch of people just don't agree with." The SEC is beefing up its crypto enforcement team. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission announced it is increasing its crypto assets and cyber unit team inside of its enforcement division by 20 positions to 50. The expanded unit, which has already brought over 80 enforcement actions related to crypto, will focus on securities law violations related to crypto assets offerings, crypto asset exchanges, crypto asset lending and staking products, DeFi platforms, NFTs, and stablecoins. Gorbir S. Gruel, the director of the SEC's enforcement division, said the regulator is expanding to protect retail investors and offer them a fair chance. Crypto markets have exploded in recent years, with retail investors bearing the brunt of abuses in this space. Meanwhile, cyber-related threats continue to pose existential risks to our financial markets and participants, said Gruel. The bolstered crypto assets and cyber unit will be at the forefront of protecting investors and ensuring fair and orderly markets in the face of these critical challenges. Not everyone at the SEC was excited about the approach to crypto the agency is taking. SEC Commissioner Hester Peirce tweeted from her personal account, "The SEC is a regulatory agency with an enforcement division, not an enforcement agency. Why are we leading with enforcement in crypto?" Your weekly DeFi hack roundup. This past weekend, on top of Solana experiencing a network outage and Yuga Labs making Ethereum unusable, there were two major DeFi exploits. Rari Capital and Fei Protocol fell prey to a re-entrancy bug that cost the platforms more than $80 million. According to PeckShield, a blockchain security firm, the attack vector was similar to other successful hacks on compound-based forks. For their part, Rari paused borrowing, and Fei Protocol offered to give the attacker $10 million as a bounty if the remaining funds were returned. Saddle Finance, a stablecoin DEX, also experienced an exploit this weekend. PeckShield reports that the hack was made possible due to a wrong library being used to calculate swaps, leading to the hacker getting away with $10 million. On the bright side, a white hat hacker team at BlockSec was able to recover $3.8 million. There was also an attempted attack on Rainbow Bridge, which connects Near Protocol and Ethereum. However, a single MEV bot moonlighting as a bridge watchdog was able to thwart the attacker and come away with a 2.5 ETH reward. The IMF says Central African Republic's Bitcoin move is challenging. The International Monetary Fund told Bloomberg this week that the Central African Republic's decision to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender will raise major challenges, politically, economically, and legally. The news comes just a week after the country's president signed a law legalizing crypto and making Bitcoin legal tender. The IMF has been similarly negative regarding El Salvador's adoption of Bitcoin. According to Bloomberg, the IMF staff is assisting CAR authorities in addressing concerns regarding the new policy. ENS Domains Heat Up. Ethereum name service domain registrations, aka .eth handles, surpassed 1 million this week, with over 350,000 unique owners. The collection also shot up into the top 10 of all NFT projects by volume this week on OpenSea, a rarity for the domain service. The spike in registration coincides with a surge in popularity for 3- and 4-digit ENS domains like 123.eth and 6969.eth. For example, on May 2nd, the floor price for 3-digit ENS names was 44 ETH, while the 4-digit ENS names were going for a minimum of 2.45 ETH. Starbucks seems to actually understand Web3. Starbucks, the coffee giant with over 30,000 locations and 27 million active rewards members, is joining Web3 in a big way. The company announced plans for NFTs this week, explaining the technology's potential for community building and access. "We believe NFTs have broad potential to create an expanded, shared ownership model for loyalty, the offering of unique experiences, community building, storytelling, and customer engagement," the team explained in a blog post. And while doing so, also being a source of a creative business that can benefit a number of stakeholders in the process, while creating a new type of digital ecosystem to complement Starbucks' current digital platform offering. Details are slim, but the team hinted that the NFTs will drop this year and will carry community membership and exclusive experience and perks with them. Additionally, Starbucks is thinking of building a Web3 platform that would be chain agnostic. Juno confiscates whales tokens and does massive self-own. As previously covered on Unchained, the Cosmos-based Juno blockchain community officially voted to confiscate the holdings of a whale's wallet after the entity allegedly gamed the airdrop. The vote was not close, with 72% of users voting in favor of the move. However, it appears that the Juno team accidentally sent the seized Juno, worth $36 million, to the wrong address due to a copy and paste error in the code. The funds are currently sitting in an unobtainable address, but the team plans to move the funds during an upgrade that will rewrite Juno's ledger to send the funds to the community account it was supposed to be destined for to begin with. Luna Foundation Guard buys more Bitcoin. Luna Foundation Guard, the entity working on backing UST with a $10 billion Forex reserve, announced the acquisition of 37,863 Bitcoin on Thursday. The deal was done over the counter with $1 billion worth of UST traded via Genesis and another $500 million in Bitcoin purchased from Three Arrows Capital. The news, however, coincided with a 7% dip in the price of Bitcoin. Time for fun bits. How to sell Web3. One blog post from @MaddieGags of Z Prime Capital was quite humorous this week. Titled, How to Sell Your BS Web3 Idea to a VC, the blog gives out great advice like, if you don't have a team or you do not have credentials, then just be in and on. Make sure you use at least 3 of these trigger words: NFT, Web3, gamified, X to earn, value capture, governance token, DAO, and the metaverse. And my personal favorite, this is the easiest part. However, it requires you to actually have a call with investors. Just memorize the phrases below and slip them into the conversation. So I cannot say who will lead, but waiting for Kyle to respond next week. This will make them think, which Kyle? Davies? Samani? Damn, I better be fast. Even if they know one of the Kyles and they check with them, it still can be the other Kyle or some freaking Kyle they've never heard of. Oh my God, I cannot be bested by Kyle. All right, thanks for joining us today. To learn more about Eric and the Other Side Digital Land Sale, check out the show notes for this episode. If you haven't yet bought a ticket to the book clubs on the Cryptopians, there is one more book club next Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time with a few tickets remaining. I've had a lot of fun discussing the book with you all, and I'm excited to discuss it with more of you. Also, don't forget that buying a ticket to the club also gives you access to my premium offering for the next year, in which I release exclusive interviews not available elsewhere. Head to bits.ki/Laura Shin. Again, the link to buy is bits.ki/Laura Shin. Unchained is produced by me, Laura Shin, with help from Anthony Yoon, Daniel Nuss, Mark Murdoch, Shashank, and CLK Transcription. Thanks for listening.